It is loud and it is wet as we welcome you inside Lumen Field on your standard rain-filled afternoon in Seattle, Washington. Today we've got a Week 8 matchup on tap here as it'll be the Detroit Lions taking on the Seattle Seahawks. Well, no trip to the Northwest would be complete without a little rain, and we've got a lot of rain falling right now at Lumen Field in downtown Seattle. Today, we've got a Week 8 matchup on tap here, as it'll be the Detroit Lions taking on the Seattle Seahawks. Lurching closer toward the midway point of this NFL season, and we're underway on EA Sports. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line.
First and 10 at their own 30-yard line.
So first and 10 now from the 30. They start on the ground with Nick Chubb. And nothing much materializing there on the first down run. He'll get a couple, and that's it. You talk about this Seahawk defense. We know they're going to be tough to throw on. Top 3 in the NFL defending the pass.
And I'm struggling a little bit trying to really categorize this crew. They're top 10 in the league against the pass, but the bottom half of the league in sacking the quarterback. That doesn't make sense. Imagine if this group ever put pressure on the QB, they'd easily move into the top 5.
Toward the sideline, and look at that catch. Dragging the toes, and that's going to be a first down. Well done. A good pickup there at 22.
I do have to admit, I like it when it all comes together. When the top part, catching the football, right, whether you're catching it with your hands or cradling it, comes together with the legs, in this case the feet, doing a little toe tap. to stay in bounds and complete the catch.
And a great job by our crew on the camera shot. Love when you see the grass or on the field turf, those rubber pellets flying up. Great catch. And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8, 2nd and 2. Well, this defense for the Seahawks very strong in that victory a week ago.
Yeah, and what stood out to me on tape, the way they were flying to the football. So that tells me that they've got all their assignments down and they're playing with extreme confidence.
Ball on the 39. Here's 2nd and 2. They run it again with Chubb. And he'll go down here at the 35-yard line. They'll get 3 as the drive continues. It's a first down.
2nd and 2 is prime time for a little bit of a gamble, isn't it? Open up the playbook. Go play action. Toss that bad boy deep. But in this situation, go ahead and give it to your back. Let him pick up a first down. Keep the sticks moving.
Now Goff on first down. Throw left side complete. That's Mitchell. He's going to go out of bounds, but he takes this one down just shy of the 20. The Lions passing game in sync now. They've got another first down. That early game script that they drew up is working pretty well here on this first drive. Already in field goal range, Charles knocking on the door of the red zone.
You know, Brandon, when we met with the coaching staff, they kind of predicted that they would come out firing like this. I think you and I were a little skeptical it'd be this easy, but they certainly knew what they were doing in scouting, in preparation, and understanding what their team was capable of.
A good run by Chubb on first down as he'll get about 6 yards there.
Hey, when you get good yardage like that on first down, it really does a whole lot of good for your entire offense. But I love the way he's finishing those runs. At the end of things, he's making sure he gets just a little bit extra.
Here now, 2nd and 4. Up the middle, it's Chubb. And tackled down after a gain of 3. Leaves him with 1 yard to go on 3rd down. That's some good tackling there to keep him short of that yellow line.
Yeah, defensively, all I'm thinking is that on that play, get me to 3rd down. Get me into a position where I can make one more play and get my defense off the field.
And this will be play number 8 of the opening drive. It's 3rd and short. They'll run for it. Here's Chubb. And he's able to pick up the first down before he's tackled right at the 10. Only 3 there on the pickup, but that's enough to move the chains. If you make the stop there, maybe you hold them to 3 on this opening drive. They didn't get the stop.
Yeah, new set of downs now. Now you're worried about, just as you pointed out, not just giving up 3, possibly giving up 6. Let's see what they decide to do here because they've got to change up what they have been doing. It hasn't been working.
They'll try the air now with Goff. And that is going to be incomplete as he led him a bit too much.
Had an open man that time, but ended up putting a little too much heat on it, don't you think, partner?
Absolutely. Just needed a touch more air under it. Instead, he fired an absolute bullet. Now a 2nd and 10. Here's Goff. Over the middle into traffic, and that's complete. They do get a couple, but they'll be left standing at a 3rd and 8 coming up.
They kept the receiver in the short field, but that let his quarterback get the ball quickly to him before either guy in double coverage could react.
It's been a pretty long opening drive. This will be play number 11 coming up on 3rd down. Out of the gun, Goff. He had a man open, but he missed him, and it's incomplete.
Whether that's a little grabbing, a little hand fighting, by any means necessary on 3rd down, he was able to get the job done in the secondary and swat that one away.
Patterson's kick is good. And the Lions are going to take a 3-0 lead. And all in all, a pretty decent opening drive, Charles. Pretty balanced. They had the passing game going and the rushing attack, too.
I would think they have to be happy with that start because you get your ground game going, which means your offensive line and your runners are pretty happy, and then you get your aerial attack going as well, so your quarterback and receivers have smiles on their faces. Now both up to speed, awaiting their next possessions for this game. They can't wait to get started again.
They'll run with Walker to begin the drive. And he'll take this ahead for about 4. Second down coming up. You talk about this Lions defense. They were very good a week ago in the win over Minnesota.
And I'm eager to see the game plan and trying to attack them this week, because when you take it away 4 times through interceptions, do you now decide that I can't throw the ball against this team and try and run it like crazy? Or do you challenge them? This is going to be fun.
Second and 6, just inside the 30. He'll look to throw. That is taken in by the tight end Fan. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. It's a gain of 35.
I guess we got a good idea about what the game plan is for attacking this secondary. No beating around the bush with this crew. His first throw of the game is a deep shot, and it connects. That's a tendency breaker right there, because normally you build up to the big shot, but not in this case.
So how about that for a chain mover? They're all the way down inside the 40 now for 1st and 10. Up the middle they run. It's Walker. Nothing doing. Barely able to muster a yard to hit the 35. The Seahawks at 500, 3-3 through the season's first 6 weeks. And they come in with fresh legs. They got the extra time off thanks to an early season open week.
And usually your hope is that your open week comes a little bit later in the year. But when you get a chance to get your fresh legs back, you have to take that time and run with it. And that's what they're trying to get done here.
And going right back to Walker. And he works his way free all the way down to the outskirts of the red zone. It's a gain of 15, first down Seahawks. Quite the opening drive march they're on right now.
It looks a lot like what we saw in practice prior to the game, doesn't it? You know, because on that last big practice beforehand, you go through your offensive script. You go through your play calling. You go through all the stuff and establish things. And it looks like it's going like clockwork right now for them.
They'll look to throw now on first down. It's caught. Lockett. Well, hang on now. We're going to pause here. We've got an injured player. So as the medical staff takes a look, we'll step aside. Here's 2nd and 3. Up the middle, here's Walker. And now a fumble. The ball's out. And the Seahawks are going to have a 1st and goal as he's able to take this inside the 10 to the 8. Could have been a costly mistake, but as it turns out, they keep possession.
You can't give away these types of opportunities in the red zone. And I'm sure that was flashing through his brain as the ball escaped his hands. Fortunately for him, able to get picked up by his team, fumble recovered. They still have an opportunity deep in the red zone.
Here's Walker. And he will score. Touchdown, Seattle. Kenneth Walker with his 6th rushing touchdown on the year. And the Seahawks are able to answer the early 3 points and take a first-quarter lead. The point after through the raindrops, up and good. And that makes it a 7-3 lead. And after the touchdown, here's Myers to boot it away. Now a crease here as he's past the 30. And a good return, able to get out across the 35 to the 36.
At their own 36-yard line.
The Detroit offense ready to begin their drive. Their drive last time, it stalled out. They were forced to take the short field goal.
And the key phrase, you nailed it, forced to, because you know coaches look at these short field goals as a last resort, right? To them, that's not how drives are supposed to end. You're supposed to put 6 on the board. That's a consolation prize, like going to the county fair. You don't get the big stuffed animal on that one, do you?
No, you don't go top shelf. That's bottom shelf material. So from the 37, here's 2nd and 9. Now a play fake, and it's Goff. And his throw's going to be incomplete.
Anytime a ball's thrown in the middle of the field is popped up in the air, I expect someone to catch it, no matter whether it's offense or defense, because there's usually a great amount of bodies in that part of the field. In this case, no one came up with it.
And this should be the final play before the quarter ends. Throwing on 3rd, Goff. And the throw there going to be incomplete.
This defense has certainly played well so far in this game, and the coverage has been tight on just about every throw. Forced a few here so far in this game, and now it brings up 4th down.
Jack Fox out to punt here on 4th down. They only punted twice in the win last week as he gets this one away. This is taken at about the 14. After one, 7-3 the score on EA Sports. Second quarter now from Seattle, and it is the Seahawks with the football here as they get set to start their drive with a 1st and 10. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. And they enter play here in this one on a 2-game win streak, plus they come off the open week as well. So this is a team that has a lot of things working in their favor.
Oh, it certainly is, and let's face it, this team is playing so well. The worry now is that after a few extra days off, they'll be sluggish coming into this game. So I've heard that he spent more time in practice working what they call good versus good, starting offense versus starting defense. They want a fast start in this next game.
Ball on the 30 now. Here's 2nd and 3. Sticking with Walker on 2nd down. 41 yards now on the ground on just 7 carries.
I think we all suspected that they were going back to him after he found the end zone on his last carry, and they kept the positive momentum going there. Another nice run by him.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. Flag comes in. This might be a free play. Man open downfield. It's Metcalf. And he takes it into the end zone across the chalk. Now there is a flag down, but I think that's offsides on the defense.
Yeah, I think that's going to stand, partner.
Now Myers for the extra point. And this one's right through to make it a 14-3 ball game. And after the touchdown, here's Myers to boot it away. Here comes Khalif Raymond from his end zone. And only able to get this to the 19, so probably should have opted for the touchback.
At their own 19-yard line.
The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. And this not an easy situation. You're down early, in the elements, you're on the road. How do you get the mojo back?
Well, one thing is to remember that as an offensive player, you have a much better idea of what you're trying to accomplish and where you're trying to go than the defender. So in this case, because you know it, you can make your cuts with a little more decisiveness, maybe a second fake, some double moves, things of that nature, to go ahead and try and put some pressure on the defense.
2nd down and 4. Going up the gut, Montgomery. And he will lose yardage and be backed up to the 24. Call that a loss of a yard, and things get a little more difficult here. 3rd and 5. Another example right there how this defense really is winning the entire game at the point of attack.
Yeah, right there at the line of scrimmage, because they are dominating it. It allows their interior guys to get upfield and spill into the backfield. So how are you going to combat that? You know, because they bring in your tight end, keep him in. Your running backs, they have to step forward. Bottom line, your offensive line has to block them first to give yourself a chance.
This one swung out to Montgomery. And he is going to have a Lions first down as he's able to get 8 yards there on 3rd and 5.
And I like the idea here. Get the ball in his hands, even if it's in the passing game. 3 catches a week ago, and he does a nice job here to pick up yardage.
First down, here's the run to Montgomery. And he'll have it past midfield almost to the 40 before being taken down. A big chunk on the ground there, 27 yards.
I think they like this drive a little bit better there, partner. Running game helping out, picking up some of the slack. Because remember the last drive, they went 3 and out.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Back to the ground. This time it's Chubb. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on 1st down.
And that's exactly what you want on a 1st down run. Pick up 5 yards, bring up 2nd and 5. The defensive line, though, they've got to figure out a way to out-leverage the guys up front because the offensive line is winning at the point of attack.
Here's 2nd and 5 now from the 37. Goff. That is caught by Laporta. And that'll wind up moving the chains again as a tackle's going to be made at the Seahawks 16. A gain there of 21 yards. So the ball down to the 16 here for 1st and 10. Slot man moves right. He's going to get it on the jet sweep. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Detroit. Khalif Raymond, a 16-yard touchdown run. And the Lions are back within a score. Well, we've talked about it before. You know, this jet sweep, something a lot of teams like to run nowadays, and this one winds up in the end zone.
And it is all about creating different ways to get the ball in the hands of your playmakers. And wasn't it interesting that prior to this game, the head coach told us, I saw this sitting in my chair watching a Tuesday night college game and decided to implement it myself.
And oh, he clanks it off the right upright, and it's no good. So with the missed PAT in his rearview mirror, he goes back out to kick this one off. And able to get this across the 20, but not much further as he's dropped it to 23-yard line. Here's the Seattle offense ready to get this drive underway. And they are winners of 2 straight games as they have climbed back to 500 now on the season.
And you and I both know that this can be a tough team to figure out sometimes, because I remember a few weeks ago you and I having a conversation where we both thought that this was a season they could get away from them pretty quickly. Obviously not.
All right, I got to ask you, with these RPOs, essentially the quarterback has 3 options, right? So what's different from that versus the triple option that we see the service academies run at the college level?
As a general rule, the triple option at the college level, most things are called outside of the quarterback faking it to the runner and then keeping it himself and maybe having a trail back. What I mean is, in the NFL, that option to throw the football all comes about organically. It's a natural deal based on reads. In college, if you're going to throw the football for triple option, you've actually called that play. Well, they certainly did a nice job there, picking him up out of the backfield and then running stride for stride with him. That's good coverage, and it led to an incompletion.
And 2nd and 10, he'll look to throw again. And this will be incomplete.
Those are the ones you dream of as defenders. I think if he gets eyes on the ball a little bit earlier, he might come away with it. Instead, it's going to wind up as just an incomplete pass.
So back-to-back incompletions, and that has him staring at a 3rd and 10. Back to throw here. Oh, he tried to fit it in on the slant, and it's intercepted. Jack Campbell with a pick. And his guys are going to take over at the 39-yard line.
First down 10 at the 39-yard line.
So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. A give running right is Chubb. And they'll be inside the 35 now at the 34-yard line. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be 2nd down.
Hey, it's not the most spectacular play, but I think most teams will take that every single time for the first play of a drive. Begin the series with positive yardage and set yourself up for a very manageable 2nd down.
Two minutes remaining in this first half of football. Here's a 2nd and 5. Now it's Goff. Oh, he'll want that one back. Incomplete. He doesn't drop too many in that department. 3rd down. Fair to say it hasn't been his best game throwing the football, but also not getting a lot of help out there either.
Yeah, you nailed it pretty well, you know. He's got to throw it better. Got to get more help. Obviously one that should have been caught. They've got to find a way to bring those 2 elements together so they can make some progress in this one.
They had great starting position to begin the drive, but now they look up at a 3rd and 5. Now Goff. Oh, he had him. He was open, but he couldn't get it to him. It's incomplete.
Oh, that's going to hurt a bit because they needed to come through with a completion there. Now a drive that started with great field position is facing 4th down.
On 4th down, Goff to the sidelines, and Detroit has Riley Patterson out there for the field goal. On the right hash, officially this will be a 51-yard attempt. Patterson's kick is good, and that will cut the lead down to just 2. So, Charles, they get to them with their first turnover of the game and then make it hurt a little bit extra with a field goal.
And anytime you give the ball up, what's the first thing a coach tells his defense? Don't let them score off of this. You've got to put out the fire. In fact, in 2021, that's what one NFL coach termed his defense. The firemen. Go out there, guys, and don't let them put some points on the board.
And he brings us out past the 20 to the 24.
At their own 24-yard line.
Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. And thus far, the weather has not slowed this offense down one bit. They've looked good so far in the first half.
They certainly have. And think back to our meeting with the head coach. And we asked him, because we saw the forecast for this game, didn't we? We said, hey, have you prepared for this? And he talked about the different drills that they've done in adverse conditions, the wet ball drills, things of that nature. He said, I don't think it's going to slow us down much. We tend to handle it pretty well, and he's been right.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. They'll drop to throw. That completes it again to Metcalf. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. Now the Seahawks going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next.
At the 47-yard line.
Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on 1st down. They're going to look to throw. This is Fant on the short completion. And he's out of bounds as he gets this down to the 45. Got the defense on their heels. 2 first downs in a row and now a pickup of 8.
And he's the epitome of what we call the move tight end. A guy that you can line up anywhere. In the slot, out wide, in tight. Doesn't really matter because he has such great skills. You want to utilize him in all aspects of your passing offense.
And there he was in the slot for the catch. Now a 2nd and 2. And he'll get it down here to the...
Ban their playbook. Well, 2nd and 2. That means your playbook's wide open. You can run just about anything. But a lot of times the play caller, he just looks down at his sheet, sees the short yardage runs, and goes to one of those.
They'll look to throw here on 1st down. Over the middle, complete. That's Goodwin. Now the Seahawks call the 2nd of their 3 timeouts as the clock will stop with 33 seconds to go in the first half. That's now 4 completions in a row. A good bounce back following the interception last drive.
Certainly not letting it affect him, that's for sure. And we all know interceptions are going to happen. So the big trick, don't let it affect you going forward. Most of the good quarterbacks, they just tell the ball boy.
And under the Lions' pressure, he's brought down. Now the Seahawks forced to use their 3rd and final timeout. And with halftime on the horizon, they'll be out of timeouts from here forward. Seventh play of this drive coming up, but a long way to go on 3rd down. He'll look to throw. That is in up. So thinking with this amount of time on the clock, probably just sit on it, and we'll see these two teams go to the lockers.
Yeah, I don't think you want to overthink it in this situation. Either side of the ball. Just go ahead and finish up the half and get on out and talk about it.
Call it a gain of 4 on 1st, and that'll make it 2nd down.
A gain of 4. It's now 2nd and 6.
That's it for the first half. 2 more quarters to go. We'll have plenty more to see after the break.
The score, Seahawks 14, Lions 12.
And we welcome you back live now inside the booth alongside Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin, set and ready to rock for the 3rd quarter. Forecast calling for more of the same. The rain set to continue as we are underway in the 2nd half. And no fireworks to start the half. This will be a touchback. Here's the Seattle offense ready to get this drive underway. And both of these defenses have been stifling these last few drives offensively, just not able to get anything going. So what needs to change?
I think a lot of the guys will go back and review, so to speak, because everyone has someone assigned to how did each play work. Okay, what did we use that kind of worked for us during this game? Try and get back to some of those plays, as well as the possibility of showing something you haven't shown already in this game and trying to change things up.
We'll see if they take the advice of Mr. Davis. Walker now on 1st and 10. And he's going to get it across the midfield stripe into Lion territory. 5 yards is the tally on 1st down. That brings up 2nd and 5.
I really like the vision he displayed on that play because he saw there wasn't a lane to completely break off a huge gain. So he found where there was the most space and got what he could. A nice dirty run that's a positive play for the offense.
From the 47, it's 2nd and 5. They'll set up a throw. Going for Metcalf on the deep ball. This is intercepted. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson with a pick. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. That is a tough way to start the 3rd quarter. You get the football, hoping to drive it down, put it in the end zone, and take the lead. Instead, they give them the football.
And I think the key here is for them to not get discouraged. That is not how they drew it up, not how they saw it in their minds. But there's a long way to go in this game. You know, they've just got to find a way to come back one play at a time. Yes, it's a cliche, but they can get it done.
The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. They take over here following the interception. That's the good news. The tough spot is the spot that they're in. That's inside the 5 in the shadow of their own goalpost here. 1st and 10. And oh, it's a safety. Goff got buried in the end zone. He couldn't get rid of it.
That's exactly what they were aiming for defensively. A huge early play that cuts off any opposing momentum at the knees. As soon as that snap was made, they were flying to the ball and through the line. Great call from the coaching staff and even better execution.
And they're going to start this drive in pretty good shape as they get it up past the 30. From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. Here's Walker to start the drive. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
And plays like that are exactly what this defense needs here early in the second half to give it a little spark. I think their halftime adjustment, what they talked about, maybe it was just a little inspirational speech. Who knows? But looks like they're ready to go.
So the opening play of the drive goes backwards. Now they'll come up on 2nd and 12. Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. And this one incomplete. Too much contact to hold on to that one, and it's 3rd down.
As this old brain remembers, when I see 5 wide receivers on the field as a defender, I know the ball's coming out hot. They expected it and got there and popped it free.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Back to throw. Flushed out right. And he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete.
I think it's safe to say that he's made some questionable decisions out there so far. Forced some throws into tight coverage. He's already been picked off in this game. 4th down now, but he was fortunate on that one not to have another turnover on his ledger.
And on 4th down, on is the punt team sending this one away. It'll wind up just a 35-yard punt, no return, and the Lions will take over.
At their own 35-yard line.
The Detroit offense ready to begin their drive. Remember, they had the safety go against them the last time they had it. Fortunately, their defense just forced the punt, so they'll try again as they start 1st and 10. Pat Surtain up to make the play.
Nice satisfying run on 1st down for the offense, picking up 5, which means defensively, the thought process is entirely different. You don't want to panic, but at the same time, you're saying to each other, we've got to tighten this down. We can't give up gains like that.
2nd down, here's Chubb again. And he's dropped just before the line to gain. 4-yard pickup leaves him with 3rd and 1.
Well, if you're a football guy, that's a pretty run because everyone is in sync right there. He's the guy carrying the ball. But how about the people up front? Leverage, athleticism, they created some nice space for him.
So they just need 1 yard here to pick up the 1st down. They'll run it. Here's Montgomery. And good vision there as he's across midfield and down to the 45-yard line. 41 yards rushing for him now, and he's only carried the ball 4 times.
1st down, Detroit.
On 1st down, it's Goff. He's going to wind up and air it out. And that's going to be too high, out of bounds and incomplete.
They decided the opportunity was there and launched a deep ball, but he was unable to get away from the defender, couldn't create space, couldn't uncover at the end of the route, and that one winds up incomplete.
2nd and 10. They'll fake the handoff. Now Goff. And that falls to the ground, incomplete. A nice job of bodying him up defensively. And now it brings up 3rd down. So another incompletion there. He's hitting on fewer than half his pass attempts in this one, and that is not a winning formula.
Yes, let's make sure we give a little bit of credit to the defense here. They've given him a lot to think about, a lot of different looks, and he seems a little bit confused trying to complete passes.
Goff now looking to throw. And that is incomplete.
It looked like they had something there, but I think that he was thinking about running with the football before he actually hauled it in, and that led to a big drop.
Here comes the Lions punter now, as he'll punt it away for the 2nd time. Taken at the goal line. So a change of possession here on the punt. And it'll be Seahawk football as they take over deep in their own territory.
At their own 6-yard line.
Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. And our game's hit a little bit of a lull here, a little bit of a snag. Punts on back-to-back drives.
And old school coaches don't necessarily mind that. Didn't turn it over, right? Didn't create a big play for the other team. Right now what you're looking for is can you gain an advantage in field position? And that's what both teams are seeking right now.
Yeah, they'll be seeking to gain that advantage here on this drive. Back to throw now on 1st down. This complete to Lockett. And he's going to be dropped following a pickup of 7 past the 30 to the 32. That reception, his 600th NFL catch. Congratulations. Quite the accomplishment. They'll operate from the 32-yard line here, 2nd and 3. From the gun, it's Walker. And he'll be tackled right on the chalk at the 45. 70 yards for him on the ground now as he has been terrific here this afternoon.
That was good, tough running right up the middle. And if the defense can't penetrate and make him slow his pace or change direction, that's often the end result.
Back to Walker on 1st down. And a good run here as he'll rumble all the way down to the 40-yard line. 15 more there, and they're on a roll. It's another 1st down.
I think we're seeing the effect that runs like that are starting to have on this game. They're a little bit slower, that front seven, reacting to the football, almost like body blows in boxing, slowing them down, and they're really starting to take over in this game.
So the ball moves into Lion territory now. Here's 1st and 10, right at the 40. And Walker once more. And maybe a little over pursuit there as he's able to take this down to the 25-yard line. That's another gain of 15 on back-to-back plays.
Boy, where would these guys be without his performance on the ground? That puts him over 100 yards now for the afternoon, and I tell you, he seems to be getting stronger as the day goes along.
Now they'll switch it up here and look to throw. That's out to the flat for Gibson. And outbounds right around the 20. So give him 5 yards there on the pitch and catch. And that will bring up 2nd down. This drive, it's been a good mix. 3 passing plays, 3 runs, hitting on all 3 of those passes, and the last one putting him in the red zone.
So wouldn't you think play action right here? Because you've got the ability and had the ability to run it and throw it. Go play action and take your shot at the end zone.
Now 2nd and 5. Out of the gun, Walker with it. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. It'll go down as a 2-yard loss, and it brings up a 3rd down.
Well, that was one of the few times they've been able to contain him thus far. He's over 100 yards for the game, but he lost a bit off his total on that carry.
This will be the 8th play of the drive. It's 3rd and 7. Now back to throw. And that nearly the pick that they needed. He couldn't pull it in, though, and it's 4th down.
How about this defense? They came up with a couple of big plays in this sequence, and none better than the one right there, forcing the incompletion and bringing up 4th down.
Myers' kick is good, and that'll make this a 7-point game. So a nice kick there as they are able to add on to their lead.
And that's exactly what you're looking to do. Maneuver yourself into range. That way, if your drive stalls out, you're able to get something out of it, and they do so right there.
And he will be taken down here on the return on what will wind up being the final play of this 3rd quarter. 3 quarters in the books. We'll return with more after this break. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. The last series for them, a little disappointing, forced to punt. And now they'll try to do better here and come away with some points as they begin this drive. 1st and 10. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
There's no question that coming into this game, this defense was pretty vocal about its desire to take this running back out of his game. And all that pregame wolfing has turned into results.
First play of the drive goes the wrong way. Here's 2nd and 12. Back to throw. Goff. And this one nearly intercepted. Boy, that would have been a great time for their first pick. But instead, it's 3rd down.
This defense knows 4th quarter, they need to make the play. That one was right for the taking. Could have changed the complexion of the ball game, but it winds up incomplete.
The Lions on 3rd down. 3 for 7 so far in this game. This is 3rd down and 12. Here's Goff. And that almost intercepted. Oh, they would have loved to have their first pick of the game right there, but at least it does get them to 4th down. Here comes the Lions punter now as he's on here to punt it away. .39 yards on the punt, just 2 on the return, and it'll be Seahawk football, 1st and 10.
At their own 30-yard line.
Here's the Seattle offense ready to get this drive underway. Their defense got the stop, forced the punt, and now you really start to monitor the clock as they nurse this slim lead. They'll start on the ground here on 1st down. And he's going to take this ahead for right around 3 yards, but no more than that. 2nd down. Well, with the fumble he had earlier, we know how key keeping the football is here. That fumble earlier probably at the forefront of his mind. Just hold on to this thing.
It's also at the forefront of the mind of the guys who are trying to get the ball from him. And since they've seen him drop it on the ground before, they're doing everything possible to have him do it again. They need that turnover.
From the 33, here's a 2nd and 7. He'll drop to throw. And he's got Smith and Jigba. And he'll be stopped right at midfield. Second catch for him today, and it'll wind up a 1st down.
And these guys certainly are not hiding what their intention is. They're absolutely showing it. They're definitely not going to sit on this lead here in the 4th quarter.
On the handoff, this is Walker. And not a whole lot of room to operate there on the 1st down run. He gets maybe 3. I'm sure that's going to be the formula. Just keep the ball on the ground. Keep that clock moving.
And when you have the lead this late in the game, above all, stay in bounds. Yes, take care of the football. Yes, gain yardage, but stay in bounds and let that clock tick.
From the 47 now, they'll work with a 2nd and 7. Again, it's Walker. And good space to operate there as he takes this down inside the 35-yard line. 117 yards rushing for him now as he has been tremendous all day long. At carries like that, that's how they're going to continue to salt this thing away here, Charles, in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, how about that? A new set of downs. Clock continues to move. No better way to close out a game than to tap those mastodons you have up front and say, guys, keep pounding them. Let's keep the ball, keep their offense on the sidelines, and let's close this one out.
And he gets forward up the middle, but only for a couple. It'll be 2nd down.
They suspected it was a power play up the middle coming at them, and boy, were they right. That defense got downhill in a hurry and limited them to just a couple on first down.
Here's a 2nd and 8. Now a run with Walker. They're going to snuff this play out behind the line. We have not seen that much today. They give those 2 yards right back, and now they're looking at a 3rd and 10.
Now, obviously, that's some good work there defensively, being able to stop them and bringing up a key 3rd down. But if you're on the offensive side of the ball, there's an opportunity, because I know what defensive guys are thinking right now. Just stop them, get to the ball. That means they might not be sound defensively. There could be some opportunities.
And you said key 3rd down. Highlight that word. Put it in bold. Here we go. Out of the gun now on 3rd down. Over the middle, finding Smith and Jigba. And he's going to get this to the 31, but that is still well short of what he needed. Short completion, just 4 yards, and that's going to make it 4th down. So the field goal unit is on the field, as this is a big spot right here. This to make it a 2-score game. And it is good. Oh, that one looked to be in trouble the whole way, but it does get over the bar. And that will extend their lead even further. So that one, CD, going to make the road back a lot more difficult.
Oh, there's no doubt about that. You know they were praying on the other sideline for a miss, because now, as you pointed out, a very difficult road. Down 2 scores. You don't just need a touchdown. You need a chain of events to go.
And nothing but green grass here, middle of the field. Khalif Raymond. It's a foot race. And they are not going to catch him. He's in. Touchdown, Lions. And that big 4th quarter return, Charles, makes this a 1-score game.
And now it all comes down to philosophy. All right, they just had a big return for a touchdown, so the momentum is high. Do you want to ride that and go for 2? Or do you just go ahead and kick the extra point and come back and rely on your defense?
This time, the extra point up and good. And now things get a bit more interesting here in this 4th quarter. So now the other return teams out there, as they'll try to duplicate what they just saw. And he'll get it up just past the 20 as his guys will go to work at the 21-yard line. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. And after the field goal last time, let's see what they can get here. At least they got points out of the last drive, Charles.
I've never met an offensive coach that didn't want to drive to end with a kick. Most of them wanted to end with a PAT, right? In this case, a field goal, they'll take it. Way better than the alternative, which is a punt.
Yeah, but you've met fan bases that wanted that, that weren't happy with that field goal.
I haven't met a fan base yet that wants to drive to end with a kick, other than the extra point. That's it.
2nd and 5. Sticking with Walker on 2nd down. Only a couple there as he'll be brought down about the 28. 3 points separating these two sides with 2 minutes left to go in the 4th. As big of a play as we've had in this one so far. This is 3rd and 3. And he's going to be a yard short. A 2-yard pickup leads to 4th and 1. And now right out of the 2-minute break, we'll get a timeout used defensively with 1:56 to go.
Well, praise has to go to the guys on the offensive line because they've had a very nice, productive day running the football. How about that poor defensive line? They've been knocked around the entire game, and while they slowed them down on that run, can they continue to do so? Because they haven't had much success throughout this ball game.
Pulled in at the 24. It'll be a 44-yard punt, 6 on the return. And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over.
At their own 30-yard line.
Here's 1st and 10. Now Goff. St. Brown on the catch. And brought down, but not before reaching the 45-yard line.
That gets them the first down, but they've still got to move quickly here.
Plenty of time and 2 timeouts still at their disposal. 1st and 10 here. Goff now to throw. Now a quick throw there, but it's going to be incomplete. So he's unable to complete it there, and just not the game that you would expect from him. He's been off the mark really start to finish.
Yeah, it makes you wonder what exactly is going on. Is he a little bit dinged up here, or is he just off just by a bit? Maybe he can get it back in this situation. He'll need to.
Here's 2nd down. Goff. They'll set up the screen to Montgomery. And he's going to get out of bounds with the first down. So that's going to double their pleasure for sure. They get the first and save a timeout.
And here we are in the 4th quarter, partner, and watch them drive for what would be a go-ahead touchdown. And you and I both know this is where you need a quarterback who can keep his cool back there. Not just for himself, but to keep the rest of the team relaxed too.
And he'll manage to pick up about 4 at 2nd down.
Partner, they're clearly saving those timeouts, but they still have to work with some urgency to put themselves in the right position.
2nd and 6 coming up. Now it's Goff. Oh, and that is incomplete. I guess you can't be afraid to take those chances late in the game. He tried to fit that one in there. Nice job on the defensive.
Well, to your point, it was a nice job of knocking the ball away. But you're also right. You can't be afraid to take those chances. That means your guys going downfield to catch the ball, they've got to elevate their game and come down with these in order to keep your offense moving.
Pass taken in by his big tight end. The Lions now going to use the 2nd of their timeouts as the clock stops here with 46 seconds left to play.
I got a kick out of that one, partner. You and I talk often about trying to hide receivers in certain situations, but a guy of his size can't really hide him. But the tight end drag route, definitely an effective way to...
He takes it across for the touchdown, and they've taken the lead late in the final minute of the 4th.
Wow, wow.
What a game this has been, and what a drive that was, Charles, to take the lead here late in the 4th quarter.
And, partner, that's a job well done by everyone, from the players to the guys calling the plays. And if I may introduce just one downside to the mix, might be a little bit too much time left. Enough on the clock for a final last-ditch effort to try and steal this win away.
Extra point try now for Patterson. And it's no good. It has not been his day. That's the 2nd extra point he's missed so far. Now he's back out there to boom this one away, maybe with some frustration after the PAT miss. And he'll be stopped up at the 25. This is 1st and 10. He'll look to throw. He's going to let it fly. And he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete.
I don't know if you need the big shot right there or not, because you've still got time to work some of the shorter stuff and try to get into field goal range. They did go for the big one there. It would have been nice, but it winds up incomplete.
Clock at 30 seconds. 2nd and 10. Back to throw. Gets this complete to Smith-Njigba. And he is out of bounds. 25 seconds to go as he does pick up a first.
They got exactly what they wanted there. Out route, catch, get out of bounds, stop the clock.
And I have to criticize defense here because you know the situation. You want to keep them inbounds and have the clock run. So I'm sitting on the outside portion of the field and not letting them throw an out route. Throw anything inside and I'll make the tackle. An out route? That's not the way you're supposed to play it.
All 3 timeouts remain. How much that'll matter remains to be seen. It's 1st and 10.
Back to throw. And that is incomplete.
Zone coverage there, and they were playing deep. That makes it obviously a little bit harder to run by guys. And that time, it was not much of a window to get the ball in there, and it winds up incomplete.
They'll try again here. 2nd and 10.
They'll look to throw. And that is incomplete. So 17 seconds now on the clock here. 2-minute drills, they're tough enough, pressure-packed enough, and these elements makes it significantly tougher.
And you don't have the margin where you can say, okay, I can allow for certain things and maybe change up a little bit. Because it's a 2-minute situation, you've got to try and make the same plays you would make if the elements didn't exist.
This definitely 4-down territory at this point, but a critical 3rd down here.
He's back to throw.
Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete.
Now the Seahawks going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll stop the clock with 12 seconds to go in the football game.
2 timeouts still in their back pocket. It's 1st and 10.
They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw. Flush to his right. And he's brought down, but not before a gain of 13, down to the 13. 1st and 10 in the red zone.
They're not out of it yet, but in order to come back, they need to play clean football the rest of the way. He makes a correct read there, passing on challenging a blanket coverage and getting the first down with his legs instead.
So here we go. Maybe the biggest kick of the game forthcoming. And now with 4 seconds left, we get a timeout call. Now here's Jason Myers. He gets set for the Seahawk field goal. 4 seconds to go. This would send us to overtime. And this one is right through. And they will tie this game here in the final seconds. So a money kick there in the final seconds. And now, barring any hijinks on the kickoff here, partner, I think you and I, we're going to settle in for a little overtime.
And I wouldn't have it any other way. This has been a dogfight all through regulation. No reason to think it won't continue in the extra period.
So overtime on the horizon, barring a wild finish here as the kick's away.
So 4 quarters wasn't enough, and we are off to overtime. Don't change that dime. It's a little teaching moment here. Overtime rules. Remind us how this goes, partner.
Okay, so in the past, we had sudden death. First team to score wins, but no longer. Now, if the team receives the ball, scores a touchdown, they win the game. If they kick a field goal, though, or don't score, the other team gets a possession. And after both teams get a possession, then we're into sudden death. First team to score wins the game.
So the Lions, now they'll get the first crack at things here in overtime as we are back underway. Here's Raymond bringing it out. And he will be brought out here inside the 20. Good coverage as he's dropped at the 17. The Detroit offense ready to begin their drive. And everyone knows the OT rules, Charles, but pretty simple formula. They go down and get a field goal, we continue play, but if they can find the end zone on this possession, ball game over.
And as meticulously as all teams plan for a game, I don't doubt for a second on that offense coordinator's play sheet, he's got some overtime plays that he wants to run. I know it sounds crazy, but they plan for everything. 1st and 10 all the way throughout the game, 2nd and 7, whatever. Right now, he's looking at that play sheet saying, if we get to overtime, what can we break out that they haven't seen?
Yeah, give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6.
And that was a quality play to start a new set of downs. That was simply an offensive line winning the battle up front and winning in a big way and giving their guy in the backfield a nice lane to hit.
And it's complete to Mitchell. And he'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds. 2nd catch for him today, and it'll wind up a 1st down.
And this was a nice example of an offensive coordinator scheming his guy open. Just a little underneath route, just trying to free up some space, and it worked awfully well. Got him not just space, but plenty of room to run after the catch to pick up really nice yardage.
And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up.
Certainly a nice job there by the defense rallying to the football and getting him on the ground, but I think the play gets made by the defensive front because if they can't get upfield, their job is to go ahead and get low, almost get into a ball sometimes, stack things up, and make it difficult for the runner to find a hole.
It'll go down as a gain of 6. And now 2 yards to go on 3rd down.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before you get a good head of steam going.
And he is going to have the Lions 1st down. It's a gain of 6 that time on 3rd and 2.
Well, partner, what do you think? Might have been 4-down territory if they didn't pick it up, but...
Yeah, it's a moot point now. I was curious, so if they didn't get it there, would they have gone for it? I guess we'll never know.
Yeah, we didn't have to make that call, but I have a feeling both of us would have said, go for it.
He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
And we often talk about defensive ends setting the edge, sometimes even the outside linebackers, but how about here? This is a cornerback essentially setting the edge and finishing off that play for a loss.
A 2nd down pass play there, but it's incomplete.
And that's one of those plays where it's hard to keep 2 eyes on the football when you know the contact's coming, let alone getting 2 hands around it, hugging it to your body, and absorbing the hit. Even for those big tight ends, who you would think could absorb that contact.
And now the 3rd down throw incomplete as well.
Back-to-back incompletions of what was once a nice drive, stalled out here. I'm going to give credit to the secondary partner. Never gave up as they gave up a few yards, and they came through on that play to deny that pass and force the 4th down.
And the defense is going to let him think about it a little as they use their 2nd timeout here. So on 4th down, out trots the kicker in a big spot here. This to at least get him a lead here in overtime. And I don't think this has the carry. It does not. It's no good. And that changes everything here in OT.
Oh, that's so deflating, Brandon, because you know he was thinking to himself, just give me a shot. Just put us in a position to win the game, and I'll get it done. But this kick, not on target, and we'll keep going here.
They'll run with Walker to begin the drive.
And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain.
Well, I think after that run, the defense is getting back in the huddle and looking at each other and maybe starting to question their confidence a bit. They gave up a significant run, 6 yards, and now you're saying to yourself, how do we stop them, and do I have enough confidence to make a play?
Second and 4. Oh, and it's intercepted.
It's Brian Branch with it. And the Lions are going to have it with a chance to win the game here in overtime.
Now a timeout called for by the defense. That's their 2nd and last timeout here in the overtime session. We'll be back. So good starting field position for him here as they come up 1st and 10, just shy of midfield at the 49. After the interception, here's Goff. It's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
I'm looking at this one with my defensive eyeglasses on because you remember the old days when a tight end saw a linebacker covering him and thought he had a mismatch? But the way they can run nowadays, not necessarily so. They gave it a shot downfield. That one incomplete.
They set up the screen to Chubb. And he'll go down shy of the 40 at the 41.
And that doesn't have to gain big yardage to be an impactful play, because if you get those pass rushers second-guessing themselves that they might get hit with a screen, maybe you can wind up slowing them down just a step. And if you do that, that's a win for that play.
And he's got the first before he's brought down at the 39-yard line.
I like his focus there because he wasn't thinking about breaking that one big. All he thought about was, I need one. Let's go get that. Ended up picking up two.
So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. They run it again with Chubb. And he gets this to the 35. Good for a gain of 5. Now a timeout called for by the offense. They'll be left with just one remaining here at OT.
Oh, that was a thing of beauty right there. Look at how quick those blockers fired off the line once the ball was snapped. That was an O-line on a mission, all in sync, and the defense is lucky that play only picked up 5 yards.
Ball on the 35. Here comes 2nd and 5.
Gone. And his throw here's incomplete.
Not sure what happened there, but he just didn't get the right read on the coverage that time. The pass wasn't where it needed to be, and that'll send them back to the drawing board.
They come up now 3rd and 5 following the incomplete pass. Goff now to throw. That is caught. And he'll be out of bounds, able to get it down to the 25 there. So he hooked up with a veteran there, and in overtime, that's not a bad idea. Go with the age and the experience.
Yeah, because sometimes the young guys, they give you the fresh legs and give you all that bounce. But in this type of a situation, sometimes those legs slow down a little bit as the enormity of the moment overwhelms them. The veteran guys, they tend to come through.
Now they return to the ground game. Chubb.
And a strong run there as he'll maneuver his way down inside the 15.
And I know you, with every carry, especially in overtime, you're just saying, if you're that ball carrier, hold on to the football.
Hold on to it, protect it, but not necessarily settling, because you're trying to get to the end zone. You're trying to end the game right here. And I know the defensive guys, poking, clawing, raking, trying to knock the ball free and protect their end zone.
Yeah, like you alluded to, especially this part of the field. Now a timeout called for by the offense. It'll be their 2nd and final timeout, remember, here in overtime. We'll be back.
Every eye in the stadium locked in on Riley Patterson.
This to win it in overtime. And he got it. The kick is good in overtime. He's able to split the uprights. And the Lions are going to win this game. Well, Charles, the forecast called for rain throughout the entire game, and we got rain throughout the entire game. But these two teams, they had fun getting dirty out there. They love the slop.
Did you trust the forecast ahead of time? Are you one of those guys that's skeptical about it, or did you trust it?
But when I saw just a big blob of green on the radar, I said, okay, let's trust.
Yeah, and that's why I'm glad you took my advice. Got your notes laminated, because, you know, open-air booth, that rain can affect us as well, although not as much as the guys on the field. But let's face it, it's kind of fun to watch these types of games, isn't it?
It is. By